Mute. Gotcha.
Okay. So he'll take care of the time. All right. It is 7:30. Welcome everybody. I see a lot of new faces. Would be awesome to see all of you all. Oh, I have other people coming in. Give me a moment to admit everybody. And while I'm admitting everybody, you all can turn on your cameras if you feel comfortable, chit chat. All right. Excellent. Admit. Oh, two of the same name. Oh. All right. Hello, Madhu Ramana. Hello. All right. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Luana, welcome. At any time, you're encouraged to show your faces. This is Toastmasters. Usually we would be in a physical setting. We would see you. So we would like to see you right now here as well. All right. So without further ado, let's actually officially begin the meeting. I am your host tonight, president of this club, Aarti Kapoor, and I welcome all of you, members and guests. We have a few today, and if the members feel brave enough, would like to introduce themselves, please do so. Raise your hand, and the first hand I see go up gets the stage. Maybe 1 or 2 introductions. Nobody? All right. Yes, Raj.
You want me to introduce myself?
No, the guest.
Oh, you were asking a guest. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. All right. All right. Maybe once they feel comfortable, maybe towards the end or something. All right. So today we are here, and I welcome you all because it's a very special meeting. It will have a flavor of, it will have a different flavor, but more often it's going to be the same structure as we have in the regular meetings. So Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization. And Alexey, if you can admit everybody, thank you. So Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization, and you will not believe this, but there are 300,000 people that are members around the world. I was shocked when I saw that. I'm like, 300,000 people. So we are a part of a 300,000 members family in 145 countries with 160,000 clubs. I was blown away. I said, 160,000 clubs with 300,000 people doesn't make sense. Then I found out that there are people who actually join multiple clubs. Talk about that. They want more public speaking experience than just staying in one club. So more power to them. So here at Toastmasters, we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and speakers and leaders. So if you join Toastmasters, the mission is that we provide a very safe environment, and you'll see that it'll be fun. Today, especially, you'll see that it's going to be fun. It's going to be a positive learning experience. You're going to learn leadership skills and become self-confident. All right. Today, I want to introduce our club officers that make our club great. I say our club is great because it is one of the very few clubs in the entire world that have the highest award called President Distinguished Club. It's rare. but we have it. So, and that's not possible without an entire team of officers and of course the members throughout the board. So first I would like to call upon our VP membership, Syed Ghayur.
Hello, everyone. Syed Ghayur here. I'm the VP membership, and I'm responsible for like any new member needs any assistance in getting joining the club. I basically help him out, and I'll give more details at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Syed. And we can't do anything without you. So once you're a member and you come in, you will get introduced to our VP Education, Vamshi Bhupalam. Take over.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and all the esteemed guests. We are so happy that you all are here today. As the Vice President of Education, my role is, as soon as you become a member, work with you closely to make sure your goals, education goals of joining Toastmasters are met. And to that effect, I would like to share with you that tomorrow we have a Toastmasters meeting, which is open to all our members as well as guests. You can use the link that is available on our Danville Toastmasters homepage to join. The evening time will be published there from 7:30 to 8. You can ask any questions. If any of your questions are not answered today, you can follow up and be available tomorrow to ask any questions. With that, I hand it back to Aarti.
Thank you so much, Vamshi. And absolutely, you keep all tabs of who is at what level of our pathways. So thank you for that. And we have our secretary, which we could not do anything about because she is an excellent note taker, Sam Wong.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Wong. Usually people call me Sam. And as a secretary, I maintain all the club's records and take the minutes at each officer meetings and support all other officers who needs help. And tonight will be your timer as well. Thank you.
Well, timing is very important. So she's keeping tabs. She's the boss. If she says, cut out, Aarti, I am dead. All right. So next up, I would like to call upon our treasurer, Uttara. If you're here, Uttara. Yes, she is here. She's our treasurer.
Yes, hi.
And she keeps the money.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I would like to say that it would be a great pleasure if the new members, new guests can join our lovely club. And I keep all the, tab of all the monies. So definitely once you have signed up and filled in your membership application, I'm the next person you will be contacting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uttara. I have nothing to do with money, so I'm very happy and glad that you're our treasurer. And we have VP Public Relations, Amita, who is not here today, and also Sergeant of Arms, Ratna, who's also not here today. But we have today, the meeting is divided into 3 segments. First is usually the prepared speeches, but today it's a special day and we will have a masterclass instead of the prepared speeches. The second segment is going to be table topics. That's impromptu speeches. Guys, this is not just listen meeting. It is listen and doing meeting and speaking meeting. So we encourage all of y'all to participate. And the third segment is evaluations. Evaluations is very important to Toastmasters because we will know where we all stand individually and or as a club. So these are the 3 segments so that we will go to. But first, as I said, timer is important. Timing is important. I would like to invite Sam Wong, our timer for tonight, to tell us how she's keeping tab of the time. Sam?
Hello, it's me again, Sam. So tonight I will not time our keynote speaker. However, we will time our table topic speakers and the evaluations. So the purpose of timing is when to make sure the speech is within the time, so which we have a good time management. So for table topics, the maximum is 2 minutes. So at time 1 minute, I will raise green with my background. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise yellow cards behind me. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. And for the speaker, you will have 30 seconds to finish your sentence. That's all. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Sam. And without further ado, I would like to actually start the meeting with the first segment, whereupon I'm going to call the master of public speaking, Alexey. But hold on, Alexey Morov, you must know who he is. And then only he opens up the curtain and comes in. Here he is. Hold on. Fasten your seatbelts and listen to this bio. Alexey Morov is a business consultant and a public speaking coach with more than a decade of experience. He is a PhD in applied linguistics. His journey into public speaking started in 2007 with his research on influence techniques in cross-cultural communication. Since then, he has developed and delivered over 100 training programs in public speaking for politicians, executives, sales managers, entrepreneurs, startup founders, and nonprofits. In 2013, Alexey founded School of Integral Leadership Co-Brain, a licensed provider of consulting, training, and coaching services, specializing in individual coaching and soft skills development, like leadership, skills, communications, negotiations, team building, and of course, public speaking. Hello. Over the years, he has been awarded as the best training designer, best business trainer, and also won the Best Pitch Award in the International MBA Hackathon in London 2019. So in 2020, are we glad that he decided to move to USA, not just USA, California, not just California, San Ramon, and join our club? Are we so lucky? And here today, he is going to provide us with this masterclass called Interaction is Key. And he's going to show us, well, why should I tell you what he's going to show us? Let him tell you. Over to you, Mr. Alexey Morov.
Thank you. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. I'm so glad to see you all here. Lots of people from all over the world. I see some people from Russia. Hello. Good morning, because it's early morning in Russia now. I see some of my friends from California. Hello, thank you very much for coming. I see my friends from the Toastmasters clubs. Thank you very much for coming. And I really hope that this meeting will be interesting, useful, and positive for all of us. What I'm going to talk about tonight is interaction. Everybody understands that we need more techniques in order to make better speeches, because it's not about the speeches, it's about the deals you make, it's about the jobs you get, it's about your friends, your family members, about your overall success in life. That's what Toastmasters help us with, and that's what public speaking techniques really help us with. The world of public speaking techniques is huge, like thousands of tools, tricks, approaches, and you can't know them all. But at least I can promise you that tonight we're going to learn some of very useful and really impactful interaction techniques. Let me start with saying why interaction is so important. What do you think is the main obstacle in successful public speaking? What is our main enemy? Please share your ideas. turn on your sound, don't be afraid, and just answer my questions. So when you make a speech, what is your main enemy?
Fear.
Yourself.
Yourself, misunderstanding, not being clear, whatever. This is your enemy. Everybody has a smartphone now, and there are so many distractions there, so many things that are interesting and exciting and right here at hand. You just need to tap the screen. Every time when you make a public speech, people are tempted to switch off and just do something with their phones. This is particularly important now when we work via Zoom. We do not see each other. I don't see your hands. I don't know what you do in the other tabs of your Windows or macOS. You can do whatever. It is really very difficult to keep people focused on you as a speaker. And when people are not engaged, when they are not governed by your speech, it is so much more difficult to convey your ideas. Why do we need interaction? Why do we need interactive techniques? Why it is key? Because if your speaking is a monologue, it makes it much easier for your listeners to switch tabs, to get their smartphones out, just to change their activities and actually not follow you any longer. That is why we're learning tonight a few, but very, very impactful, very helpful interactive techniques. So let's see how I started my speech. So definitely, I started with some general greetings, like, hello, everybody, I'm so glad to see you. That's the usual thing all speakers do. But then I started addressing specific segments of my audience. I addressed people from Russia. I addressed my friends from California. I addressed Toastmasters members. And each of you had that opportunity to feel that I identify you, that I see you in the audience, and that I address you specifically. That's very important. Just think about that. And every time when you start your speech, try to break your audience into some groups, like, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You see, for thousands of years, openings like that were typical for any kind of a public speech. Why? Because they work. When you say, hello, my friends, that's very general. But when you say, hello, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, you immediately break the audience into groups and make it a little bit, just a little bit more individualized for each of the members. But if you want to go with these techniques, just break it further. Say, hello, ladies. Hello, kids. Hello, ladies from California. Hello, ladies from other states of the United States. Hello, ladies from abroad. So that's what you do as the very first interactive techniques that you can. It's not 100% interactive. In fact, you imitate interaction. And that's exactly what we will be talking about. It's not always possible to establish true interaction through Zoom, but sometimes imitation is enough, and you need to know how to use this interaction imitation techniques. So the main techniques are, first, questions. That's very clear, absolutely clear. You ask people questions and they do what? What do people do when they are asked questions? They answer, right? And you see, this episode in our masterclass just shows you how I ask a question, don't get the immediate response, but it doesn't break the flow of my speech in any way, because the question I ask is a rhetorical question. It does not actually demand answer? The answer is pretty obvious. But still, when I ask you a question, even if you don't answer me via Zoom, you have this answer in your head. More than that, we all have our instincts from childhood and school days. And these instincts say that when we are asked a question we need to answer. Even if you look into your iPhone, even if you switch tabs, when you hear a question, you immediately, through your crocodile brain, understands that's a dangerous situation. Someone's calling me out. I need to pay attention. And so even if there are other things that are so interesting, but when you are asked a direct question, you immediately bring your attention back to the speech and the speaker. So that's a very simple technique. Just use it every time. When we start our speech, we usually start it like what? Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? That's a great idea. Always ask that. That's the question. But we can take it one step further and make it a more advanced interactive techniques. Let's say, if you can hear me, raise your hand. So who can hear me well enough now? Raise your hand. Oh, I see your hands. Thank you very much. So what I just did is called an activation technique. So it's not just a question, because when I ask you a question, you have this answer in your brain, but you are not required to do anything specific. But when I actually ask you to do something, that establishes a much stronger bond between us, between me as a speaker and you as an audience. And more than that, it's not just a bond, it's a hierarchy. When a speaker says, raise your hands, and you do that, it's not just the connection. It's not just the interaction. It's the entire system of who is in charge. And the audience, particularly if you address a demanding or resistant audience, sometimes you just have to establish that subconscious understanding that you are the speaker and you are in charge. Activation techniques are great to do that. Do you understand me? If you feel that this is a necessary technique that will be very helpful, that can be great, just give me a thumb. You can show me your thumb or you can share your reaction in Zoom. Yeah, thank you very much for doing that. Thank you. So now I see that when I ask you to do something, you do that, we interact. That's very important, particularly when you're making a Zoom speech. People turn off their cameras, people turn off their microphones, so you're making a speech and you don't actually know whether people are listening to you or not. What is their reaction? Do they follow your ideas? But when you constantly use some very simple, just like the ones we're talking about, very simple interactive techniques, you can see immediately that people are with you, they follow your guidance, they follow your ideas, they do what you say. That's very important. Thank you very much, Dmitry. And that's the third technique I'm going to talk about today. That's singling out. So just let me enumerate again. The first technique is the questions. The second is activators. The third is singling out. Sometimes you have this opportunity. In other times, you need to create it. That's the opportunity to address not the whole audience, but a precise, specific individual in the audience. For example, when I say, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Toastmasters and our respected President, Arti Kapoor. What do? I address Arti specifically, and that creates individual communication, interaction, that helps audience to understand that I'm not just talking to myself, that I'm actually addressing you guys. And when Dmitry, for example, leaves a message in the chat, I see that it's very simple to say, thank you, Dmitry, I agree with you. Always do that. So that's the singling out part. And why it is so important? Because sometimes these individuals who are active, who post in the chat, who raise your hands, who ask questions, they are potentially the most problematic members of the audience. Because these are active people, these are people with strong subjectness who have the courage to ask you questions, to raise hands, and sometimes they also have the courage to disagree with you, you know, to resist you, to say, no, Mr. Speaker, you are wrong, and I have the data to support the thesis that you are wrong. It's usually better to prevent conflicts like that with the audience. Just let me ask you, why do you think the active people in the audience are so active? What is it they seek? What do you think?
They want something from you.
Seek knowledge.
That's a very good idea.
Attention.
Attention, that's right. So we have Michio, who is a PhD and a very, very smart lady. And she understands it immediately, that those people who are most active, those people who asks the most questions, they seek attention. And why they oppose you as a speaker, why they resist your ideas, why they come out with arguments and data to support that you're not right. Why? They just need attention. And when you use the singling out technique, when you just pick that individual, address him individually. Sam, hello, I'm so glad to see you. Sam gets what she needs, attention. And when attention is already there, this person who could have been a problem for you as a speaker has already received what is needed. And so Sam has already received that attention. Let us all give a round of applause to Sam. Just do it. Yeah, do it. Oh, that's the round of applause. You see the Toastmasters technique, not just like this, but in rounds. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for those who are actually doing that. Thank you, because Sam is so grateful. What have I just done? I singled out Sam. I provided lots of attention. And so Sam is happy now. She received what she came for. And so she has absolutely no reasons to object, to start a conflict in my speech. Why? Because I used this pseudo-interactive techniques. So I just singled her out, draw the entire attention of the audience to her, made her a star for 2-3 seconds. But that is enough. Just remember about that technique. So we have questions, we have activators, we have singling out. These are 3 basic interactive techniques. A more advanced thing is that audience breakdown, but that's an advanced one. I believe that we have this introductory masterclass today with pretty basic starting entry-level interactive techniques, but that's what each of you can do making his next Toastmaster speech. So it's not just like, hello, I'm John, and today I'm going to talk about leadership. That's a good opening, but a standard one. It will never help you stand out. Such openings won't be able to make you a powerful and impactful speaker. Start in a different way. Hello, I'm John. Raise your hands who can hear me well enough. So that's the activation technique. What do you think? What I'm going to talk about today? So that's a question. And if someone in the audience is active, if someone is seeking attention, we can always say, yes, Syed, what do you think about what I'm going to talk about today? You see, the very first 15 seconds of our speech. And in the first 15 seconds, we immediately used all the 3 basic interactive techniques: a question, activator, and singling out. We did all that. What happens to the audience? The audience immediately feel that that's a much more demanding speaker. You cannot just sit through my speech. You have to respond, because I'm actively addressing you. I'm constantly wanting something from you. And that is the most powerful thing you can do to the audience. Is that clear? Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, one specific, a more advanced, a longer, and a more powerful technique that I want to show you. And I will start with real-life demonstration. So I want to tell you about the interactive techniques called 3 numbers. And before I start my story, I have 3 numbers for you. That's 2007, 1, and 69. What do you think these numbers mean? Share your ideas. What do you think it is? Just speak out. Or share it in the chat. Yeah, yes, please, Jim.
2007, year 2007. That was like 14 years back.
It was. Okay, so we have Dmitry in the chat who says that in 2007, I started as a speech trainer. And that's right. Thank you very much. You are actually right about the first number. I want to start my story about the 3 numbers techniques with the year when I started the entire thing. And I started it, like Syed absolutely correctly noticed, 14 years ago, after my PhD thesis in 2007. And what do you think this number 1 means?
You are championing for something?
Thank you very much. I actually hoped someone would say, Alexey, you're number 1. Thank you, Sam. Well, but that's not exactly the case. I want to say that in the year 2019, in the Republic of Udmurtia, where I lived at that moment, was the first class of Business Accelerator. That was the first class. And I was invited there as their public speaking coach. And what I did was teaching them the 3 numbers technique. So what do you think now? What is this 69? No, it's not 69 great speeches. I believe that over 14 years, I hope that I made a bit more than that. Maybe not great, but good speeches. But then what else this number could be?
Number 8.
Oh, that's number 69.
Your age.
Oh, my age. Well, thank you very much. So now you're out of good ideas. So let me just tell you what it is. That's the percentage. In this first class of Business Accelerator, there were 26 projects, 26 organizations. And when they had their final pitch session, 18 of them used the 3 numbers technique. That's my personal pride. So 69% of the audience adopted this technique for their practical business usage. So, and now I demonstrated you this technique in its development. As you can see, it is very simple, and it turns your any speech into an interactive experience. So I start with presenting 3 numbers. They can be whatever. It doesn't matter. And then I ask you, what do you think about that? That's the first interactive round. Then I come to the first number. I tell you, well, what do you think this number means? So that's the first interactive rounds. You give me answers, I reply, I comment on your answers, and then I go deeper into my story. I come to the second number. And the second number gives me a second interactive round. Again, I ask you questions. Again, you come up with ideas. Again, I give you feedback. That's communication. That's interaction. That's engagement. And then the third round. Again, I ask you, what do you think this 69 means? I specifically use the provocative 69, but it didn't catch you. But that's okay. I thought we might come with some ideas like, well, 69, what could it mean? But still, you see, that's my opportunity to ask you question after question after question. The entire structure of three numbers technique turns my speech into a non-stop interaction. And what is more important, it makes it so much easier for you to get into your audience memories. Everybody now will remember about the 69. And I believe that most of you will now remember about the year 2007 when I started my career as a speech coach. Why? Because you were asked that questions lots of times and you had your ideas. We discussed those ideas. It's not just my speech now. It is a discussion, but it is governed by me. It is very clearly structured thanks to that three numbers technique. Well, what do you think about that? Do you think it's an impactful technique that can help you in making your speeches stronger and more powerful? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dmitry, who is the most active user of our Zoom chat. Thank you. That's what I want you to try. Now you have that opportunity to not just listen to me, not just watch me using the technique. I really want you to use it yourself because you have a rare opportunity to try it and get immediate feedback from a speech coach. So I need all of you to start preparing. I can give you, let's say, 2 minutes to get prepared with your three numbers and any speech that you want to make. And we will see how you've learned how to use three numbers and interactive rounds in order to turn your otherwise monologue speech into this interactive experience, into a dialogue with your audience. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Okay, so I'm not going to make the selection of volunteers now because I really want each of you to think about this technique, to prepare the three numbers, and then after 2 minutes, I will select two of you at random, probably people whom I don't know very well, and give them the opportunity to present their speeches and get my feedback. Is it okay? Great. Show me your thumb if you're ready to start. Cool. So let's start. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for everybody. I turn off my sound just not to distract you. Use these 2 minutes in full in order to get prepared for your speeches. Do it. Anyone ready? When you are, raise your hand. Or otherwise, I will have this rare opportunity to call somebody to the blackboard. You see how it was in school 30 years ago. So, who is ready to start? Again, that's an opportunity for free coaching feedback. Okay, so the timing is 2 minutes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Artie, for reminding us about that. So if
20 more seconds.
okay, so guys, let's start. Who is a volunteer? Maybe one of our distinguished Toastmaster friends. How about you, Danville Toastmasters? Don't be afraid. Just use your chance to improve immediately. So, okay, I see that you need more examples. And so I will have to call someone out, but I see that Syed turned on his sound. Probably Syed wants to be the first. Thank you very much. Let's everybody give a strong round of applause to Syed, the bravest person in Toastmasters International. So please, Syed, do your job.
Thank you, Alexey. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and thank you, guest. Let me show you these numbers. I don't know if you can see those numbers. If you can't, I will.
No, we can't.
change
Just
some.
tell them.
You can tell them. Okay, 2020, number 1 and 75. Can you think of something about 2020?
2020 was a COVID year.
There you go, Alexey. Thank you very much. And Madhu also mentioned 2020 was a COVID year. It was stressful year, but it gave me an opportunity to join Toastmasters. And number one is I completed my 1 year this month. And number 75, can you think about 75?
You've made 75 speeches during this year.
Alexey, you are 100% incorrect. 75% people have speaking anxiety. And that's what Toastmasters helps you overcome. And that's what Alexey is helping you right now to learn these techniques. But the whole point is you can learn the techniques, you can read books about doing good presentations, but where are you going to come and practice in a safe environment? That is the Toastmasters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The great salesperson, Syed. Thank you. And now to serious feedback. So what can we see? So Syed started great. He did everything right, but still he could use some of the simple interactive techniques like raise your hand, what do you think, can you hear me, things like that. But the task was to try the 3 numbers technique. And so he started great. I have 3 numbers. What do you think about them? But please remember, Syed, that the idea of the technique is to give you 3 interactive rounds. So first you ask about all the numbers, about the first one of them. And when people tell you, well, that was COVID year, you comment on that, you start your story, then you come to the next number. And that's another interactive round. Now, number 1, what is that? You see, the entire technique works to make it easier for you to interact with your audience. And you always have grounds, you have reasons to ask your audience questions. That's the most important thing. So that's why one is, and then 75. Well, what do you think about 75 now? You see, you use the technique in order to move through these 3 interactive rounds. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, but it gets 3 times more interactive than without it. Okay, Sayed? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you, Alexey.
another piece of feedback, not about your interactive techniques, but about speaking techniques in general. Just our esteemed guests, please pay attention to my manner of standing far from the camera when I make a speech. Why do I do that? Because when we interact, it's not only about our voice, it is also about the full power of our body language. So if you want to make a greater, a stronger impression, please make sure to stand up, move back from the camera, and regain this opportunity to influence us with your body language. Remember that it's not just your smile, not just your face, your hands, your open palms showing sincerity, your open body showing confidence, your movement showing that you are full of energy. And then you can use whatever gestures you want to emphasize other pieces, like, for example, power and devotion, determination, whatever, aggression. You have so many instruments, and just give yourself this opportunity to use all of them. We are in Zooms now, we're not on stage, and Zoom actively deprives us of many resources that a good speaker needs. So just remember about that. Step back, give yourself some space, use this space to show us your energy. Thank you very much, Sayed. Thank you. Who's gonna be next? Who wants to try the 3 numbers technique? Do we have another person brave enough to do that right away? Okay, that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. People need time. They need to sleep with those ideas, come back fresh in the morning, just with so many thoughts, but just make sure to remember everything. So guys, thank you very much. I really think that the techniques I try to teach you and actually to discuss with you, it is a much more correct term for that. I believe these are helpful techniques that you can start using in your Toastmasters speeches starting tomorrow, that you can start using in your communication in the family right tonight. And I really hope that these techniques will not only make you stronger as a speaker, but they will also make you a more attentive person who really emphasizes interaction, who is very attentive to other people, their feelings and reactions, and thus who can be more successful in life. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to each of us, to everybody of you who was working hard. Thank you. And with that, the floor is back yours, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Alexey. A round of applause for Alexey for giving us this powerful 3-number technique. And actually, the other techniques also, I made a abbreviation